Thanks for joining us for KSAT News at 9, streaming live here in the KSAT 12 newsroom. I'm Courtney Friedman. Coming up tonight, a look at the state's timeline for Phase 2 of Reopen Texas. The city of New Braunfels will be testing nursing home residents starting tomorrow, and a local bar owner and cocktail industry advocate will join us live for tonight's coronavirus Q&A. But first, there are now 2,213 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Bexar County. That's an increase of 93 cases over the past 3 days. 72 from Friday, 16 from Saturday, and 5 new cases yesterday. 23 of those cases were reported out in the community, 23 in congregate settings like the jail and nursing homes. Tonight, 77 COVID-19 patients are hospitalized, 36 of those in the ICU and 18 on ventilators. The death toll has stayed at 62. Meanwhile, the city says it now has the capacity to test 3,000 people a day for the virus. Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced the next wave of businesses that will be allowed to reopen this month in an attempt to restart the Texas economy. Here's a look at that timeline. Child care services, youth clubs, and massage parlors are now allowed to open. Work offices are now allowed to operate at 25% capacity. Then this Friday, bars are allowed to reopen at 25% capacity. Restaurants can now increase capacity to 50%, and bowling alleys, bingo parlors, zoos, and aquariums can all reopen. On the 31st of this month, youth day camps, overnight camps, and some pro sports will be allowed to resume. Governor Abbott says every move he has made is supported by his team of medical experts.
From day one, our mission has been to use data and doctors to open Texas in a safe and responsible way that contains the spread of COVID-19. That commitment to data, to doctors, it underpins today's announcement.
When asked whether he thinks the governor is being reasonable with the pace of the Reopen Texas plan, San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg says it's too soon to judge.
And that's a question that we really don't have the data to answer. And that's the challenge as we begin to loosen up the restrictions that we've been under, is that we won't know the effect of each individual decision until 2 and 3 weeks later. What we have to watch is our own progress and warning indicators, and where they are right now is they are trending in the right direction.
Mayor Ron Nirenberg says we are in a good position here in San Antonio, but he urged the public to continue wearing masks and keeping physically distant from one another to avoid moving backwards. Well, like we've talked about, there have been COVID-19 outbreaks at nursing homes all across the country, where residents are at a higher risk due to underlying medical conditions. That's prompted a statewide effort to test residents and staff at nursing homes. New Braunfels and Bulverde Spring Branch firefighters will begin conducting COVID-19 tests at nursing homes in Comal County. Tiffany Huertas has a look at their plan.
We're a very, very vulnerable population.
Starting tomorrow, the New Braunfels Fire Department will begin conducting COVID-19 tests at 4 of Comal County's 6 nursing homes.
So we were requested by the Texas Commission on Fire Protection and the Texas Division of Emergency Management to assist in testing all nursing home clients and staff as part of the governor's orders to get those folks tested.
Fire Chief Patrick O'Connell says they will be testing about 1,200 people over the next 4 days. He says they will begin with testing staff.
Once they get most of the staff tested, the staff can then assist them in testing the residents.
Joining us on Tuesdays, as she usually does, Dr. Ruth Bergeron with the Long School of Medicine.
During an interview last week with KSAT, Dr. Ruth Bergeron explained why the death toll from the virus is so high in nursing homes. She says people in nursing homes have multiple underlying medical conditions, and the living arrangements within nursing homes also play a factor.
Most nursing homes don't have the luxury of having a private bedroom with a private bath for each individual, and there are frequently roommates and shared facilities.
Dr. Bergeron says another increased factor is the mobility of caregivers.
Caregivers go from room to room, and so you can have spread if the caregivers are not maximally using their PPE and remembering about their hand hygiene.
There are 71 positive cases in Comal County. A spokesperson says there are no positive cases from nursing homes. Courtney?
Thank you, Tiffany. Well, let's turn to tonight's 9 at 9 now. New information is coming out on the deadly shooting at a military base in Pensacola, Florida. A new study showing that vaping-related lung injuries hit young people the hardest. Plus, a look at how COVID-19 is impacting communities around the world. Here's tonight's 9 at 9. The gunman who killed 3 U.S. sailors at a military base in Florida last year repeatedly communicated with al-Qaeda before the attack, according to the FBI. Mohammed al-Shamrani was a member of the Royal Saudi Air Force. He was killed by law enforcement during the attack. U.S. investigators uncovered the al-Qaeda connection after the FBI broke through the encryption, protecting at least one of his 2 iPhones. That was done without the help of Apple. The first named storm in the Atlantic for 2020, Tropical Storm Arthur, will bring high surf, heavy rains, and strong winds to the coast of North Carolina. In Florida, officials say dangerous rip currents led to water rescues of 70 people in just 1 county on Sunday. Officials say it's very likely Arthur affected the surf conditions, but it's not uncommon to have rough surf and dangerous rip current conditions this time of year. An indigenous community in the Amazon is the latest group to be infected by COVID-19. Ecuador's health ministry confirmed a 17-year-old pregnant woman in the Waorani indigenous community has the virus. She's now isolated at a hospital. There's a new CDC study out on the wave of vaping-related lung injuries that started last year. Those injuries affected more than 2,800 people nationwide, but researchers found that young people got hit particularly hard. Adolescents and young adults up to 24 represented just 19% of the population over 12 years old, but accounted for more than half of the reported vaping-related lung injuries. Ireland began easing lockdown restrictions today. People are permitted to meet friends or family outdoors in groups of no more than 4, go to work if they are unable to work from home, and exercise outside as long as they stay close to home. The Prime Minister cautioned if people don't adhere to social distancing rules, restrictions could be reimposed. Today marks the 40th anniversary of the eruption at Mount St. Helens, the volcano in the Cascade Mountains in Washington state, nearly 100 miles south of Seattle. It was recognized as a volcano in 1835, and there have been at least 4 significant eruptions over the past 5 centuries. The blast on May 18, 1980, killed 57 people and did more than $1 billion worth of damage. Delta hopes more people will be ready to fly this summer. The airline plans to resume some domestic and international flights to suspended routes next month. Delta says it will add daily flights from several U.S. cities to Canada, as well as flights to the Caribbean, Central America, Mexico, South America, and Europe. But the airline schedule is still significantly reduced compared to last year's. Julie Andrews, famous for playing such iconic roles like Mary Poppins and Maria Von Trapp, has started a new podcast reading children's books. Andrews is working with her daughter, who's a children's author.
It's up and running and hopefully helping families have some entertainment time with their children.
A Maryland bar has brought these bumper tables for customers to use once bars and restaurants are allowed to reopen in the state. The tables are custom made with an inner tube and wheels and guarantee customers keep 6 feet apart. They would stand in the middle but still be able to walk around and chat while maintaining a safe distance from others. To read more about these stories, head to KSAT.com. Well, after all that rain, now we can just talk about the heat. It is so humid and hot.
Courtney, how does 100 degrees sound?
Not great, actually.
No, not great. And we have the potential to flirt with the triple digits around San Antonio tomorrow. So it is going to be, it's going to be a steamy day. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the time lapse. A beautiful sunset earlier this evening. We saw a high temperature today of 94 degrees, which is well above average by 8 degrees. No. 6 degrees. There's some quick math there. And you can see that we were just shy of our record by 4 degrees set back in 2018, but tomorrow we're going to be embracing record challenging heat as well, as we'll be close to 100 degrees. In the weather setup, it's fairly quiet across the Central Plains, and the reason for that is a heat high which is currently over West Texas. And as this dome of high pressure builds over Texas, it's going to act as a magnifying glass for the sun and allow for a lot of heat around the Alamo City and around the KSAT 12 viewing area. So let's go ahead and take you through the future cast here, and you can see that heat for tomorrow. We'll be looking at a high temperature forecast at 99 degrees downtown San Antonio. If we reach 100, that would be very early for the season. In fact, it would be the earliest 100-degree day since 2009. So Let's hope that we don't hit 100 degrees tomorrow. But hey, what's the difference between 99 and 100? Your body really doesn't feel it. Out toward the west, toward Castroville, even further west toward Del Rio, temperatures will soar well past 100 degrees. So we'll wake up tomorrow morning with mostly clear skies, 71 degrees. That's about the best time it's going to be outside, because by noon we'll be at 90. Again, 99 for the high, with winds from the south at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Thankfully, humidity won't be too high tomorrow, so even though it's going to be hot, we won't have to deal with much of a heat index value. And I don't know about y'all, but when I was a kid, I would jump through the sprinkler to keep cool. So if you want your kids to be occupied tomorrow, go ahead and allow them to jump through the sprinkler, because again, we won't see rain chances really until the end of the week anyway. The one thing I would caution you about is that the UV index is going to be extreme tomorrow, which means that skin damage time would be in less than 10 minutes if you don't use sunscreen. So keep that in mind. And then, hey, just let them jump through the sprinkler to keep cool. Now, in the futurecast, that heat high is going to fall apart by the end of the week, and that's going to allow for a steady drop in high temperatures and an increase in rain chances by the end of the week as well. So tomorrow will actually be our hottest day of the forecast period, and then we'll be seeing highs get back down into the 80s by Memorial Day weekend. And as far as rain goes, again, the better chances for rain will be from Thursday onward. Isolated storms will be possible Thursday and Friday, and I'd like to remind you that this time of year, storms can get pretty strong pretty quickly. So we'll be on the lookout for the potential for strong storms. Our best rain chance is going to be Sunday, when we'll see scattered rain, and then Monday, Memorial Day, another chance for isolated rain as well. So Courtney, it's not all bad news, the high heat tomorrow, but then we do cool down.
Riding the roller coaster.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Sarah. We'll be right back. Stay with us. We'll be back in a minute.
Welcome back. Until the crisis is over, every weeknight at 9, we're trying to separate the facts from the fiction surrounding the new coronavirus. Tonight, we are joined by Jarrett Pena. He is not only a bar owner, but he's been a leader in our local cocktail industry. He knows a lot of people in the industry. And so I'm imagining you were watching what the governor had to say today with particular interest.
Just a little bit.
What was your reaction?
I understand what he's trying to do, and there's a lot of people hurting, and I want I want my industry to feel like they have a shot and some hope that, you know, we can go back to some sense of normalcy. But so I support it in a way. You know, it's a little scary because there's still, you know, cases that are mounting up.
But so let's talk 25%. Can you make it on 25% occupancy?
No, I mean, not at all.
Why not?
Well, you have to imagine, because I mean, you have rent structures. A lot of people are paying rent structures based on market rate. Market rate, you know, 6 months ago to a year ago is really different now because the market does not exist anymore. So you're paying $24 to $38 to $44 a square foot when you can't afford that rent anymore. So I mean, so your rent now is, you know, the typical rent structures are around 6 to 8% of gross sales. So if your sales drop by 60%, 70%, that rent number now equates to more like a 20 to 25% of your gross sales. I mean, then you tack on your cost of goods and your labor. I mean, there's no money. There is ways to survive it, but it requires landlords to shell out and help out. And more importantly, it would help is actually having the comptroller or someone in the state help us relieve some of that tax burden that we have. And listen, we're in a red state. You know, we all believe in small government and lower taxes. This is a perfect time to preach that type of a thought process. Yeah, particularly what they call sin taxes. Explain what those are and what you would like to see done with those. You know, so we pay 8.25%. So now what we do is when you buy an alcoholic beverage, 8.25% is charged to your bill. So you'll see if you're buying a $10 drink, you're paying 8.25%. So you're going to be paying, your total gross bill is going to be $10.82. So we get that. So we take that 8.25, and then we pay 6.5% on the gross amount. So we're paying a total of 14.5% tax. What I'm proposing, and I'm talking to local leaders, I have some phone calls tomorrow with some state representative people, is just, I'm not talking about permanently. I'm talking about until this crisis is gone. What we need is, we don't need a handout. We need a hand up. We need people, we need the government to help us, like, hey, this 6.5% could equate to an extra 20% more in our pockets. Because if you're running on margins of 10 to 20%, 6.25 is huge.
If you're not a bar owner, if you're not a business owner, if you're somebody like me who, knows that it's rough out there, how would you describe what's happening right now to bar owners?
I'm seeing people, and it's tearing us apart, because there's people, we understand the health aspect of making sure people shouldn't be, we're trying to prevent people from getting sick. I think that's really, as a good operator, you have to try to figure out ways to prevent people from getting sick. At the same time, you got bills to pay. You got comptroller calling you about paying your taxes. You have electric bills. You have your landlords. And most of the landlords have been pretty cool, but I mean, what's going to happen in 3 months from now? It's crazy. Like, a lot of people are hurting. People need to open up right now. Like, we're lucky. We were in the middle of an acquisition with Jefferson Bank, and we can ride this out a little bit. But I mean, there are a lot of people that don't have that. Most of the people don't, and people are showing, and this level of stress, it's affecting everybody.
Talk about, we talked about this a little bit in the break before we started. You were concerned that we haven't seen the worst of this yet, correct?
By far, no, we have not seen. This is just the beginning. The big issue right now is what no one's talking about is the oil. And I'll tell you a quick little story. My friend John Carbajal, who's really connected in the food and beverage world and hotel and lodging, and he invited me to a hotel and lodging meeting in 2015. A year before that, so that was in December. In December of 2014, oil took a dip, a big dip. And it wasn't until the summer and the fall of 2015, we're like, this is kind of a soft market. What's going on? Like, so I remember calling operators like my buddy Chad Carey. I was like, hey, what's going on? How is your fall going? And he even said it's soft. And then John invited me to the Hotel and Lodging Association meeting in 2015. And they were talking about the projections over the next 5 years in hotel and lodging. Everything was just going down. And the reason for that was because of oil. And everyone, I'll never forget being next to all these operators in hotels and lodging. And when they showed those numbers in 2015, you hear gasps in the whole audience. People were freaking out because they were not anticipating that oil hit that hard, was hitting hotel and lodging that hard, because a lot of people don't realize that 30% of our economy here in Texas is oil-based. So when you take that away, you have less banks giving you money, less people spending money, less money flowing around, and it trickles down to our industry. And it takes 9 months to a year.
That's what I was going to say, and that's an effect we won't feel for 8-9 months.
And that's my biggest scare. That's what I think about it when I've been preaching and telling a lot of people. I have conversations tomorrow with some local people and some state people. I am worried about that, because that's going to be the next culling. I mean, we're talking, you're talking about people closing their businesses now. That's going to be nothing compared to 9 months if we don't offer some type of relief so that we can combat the economy that's going to come at us at full force in 9 months to a year.
What do you want to leave our viewers with tonight? Final thought I'll give to you.
Just know that history repeats itself. Oil is going to hit us, and we're going to need, the food and beverage industry and every industry is going to need help, and we need to really work together and keep talking to our local representatives about protecting our economy and protecting local business.
Jared Pena, appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you.
All right, take care, buddy. We'll be right back.
A success 2 years in the making. In April of 2018, bipartisan legislators and a Jewish nonprofit called Hadassah proposed the Never Again Education Act. And last week, the federal bill passed, ensuring $10 million over the next 5 years will be dedicated to mandatory Holocaust education in schools nationwide. I spoke with the local Hadassah president about why this law is so important and got so much support.
My father was a refugee from Germany. And he served in the U.S. Army in World War II. But he had relatives who went through the camps. He had relatives who didn't survive. He had relatives that did survive.
Marion Bernstein is the president of San Antonio's chapter of Hadassah, an international Jewish nonprofit supporting a spectrum of missions. Bernstein has dedicated a lot of time to ensuring Holocaust education will continue for future generations.
Our children and our grandchildren have no idea. They don't have that immediate connection, and soon the last of the survivors will be gone.
Hadassah teamed up with U.S. representatives and senators to create the Never Again Education Act, supporting Holocaust education curriculums for schools to prevent genocide, hate, and bigotry nationwide. After 2 years, it finally passed last week. It specifically tasks the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C., with expanding its education programming and distributing it to schools across the country. It authorizes $10 million over 5 years for that museum's program development, local, regional, and national workshops, teacher trainings, and education materials and field trips to museums.
Absolute joy. I was so grateful, too, to our legislators to put this together and to vote for it. You know, it took Republicans and Democrats, it took everybody to get on board and to say this is something that's worthy of remembering.
During a politically tense time, it's a great example of bipartisanship to support a bill that encourages our nation to be more inclusive, understanding, and compassionate. Also a big success this year, the state of Texas passing a bill that mandates schools observe Holocaust Memorial Week every single year. That effort did begin with 4 local San Antonio women. Turning to tonight's top stories, President Donald Trump says he's been taking the medication hydroxychloroquine for weeks. The president has been promoting the anti-malaria drug as a possible cure to the coronavirus, but medical experts and the U.S. FDA warn of potentially deadly side effects. A new study that shows hydroxychloroquine does not work against COVID-19 and could cause heart problems. Early results from a coronavirus vaccine trial in the United States are encouraging. Participants who received a COVID-19 vaccine by Moderna have developed antibodies against the virus. That's according to a press release by the biotech company. This early data comes from a phase 1 clinical trial, which typically study a small number of people and focus on whether a vaccine is safe. The information has not been peer-reviewed nor published in a medical journal. Back here at home, some big changes at a famous San Antonio restaurant as it prepares to reopen on Wednesday. The manager of Mi Tierra tells us the building has been cleaned from top to bottom, tables and chairs have been removed, and the decorations have been taken down.
If you come to Mi Tierra, usually we're known for all the decoration, the culture that goes through really the walls of Mi Tierra, but right now you're going to see a lot of bare walls, and that's because of this new reality, and hopefully we can put everything back together as we move forward.
There are also no more menus on the table. Instead, customers will find QR codes where they can access the menu through their smartphones. He's popping up on your Facebook news feed. The social media company is now letting users create their own customizable avatars. They look similar to Snapchat Bitmojis. But if you're trying to make one and have been unsuccessful, you're not alone. A lot of people have been asking for help. Here are some tips. It's tonight's adulting hack. If you're having trouble making a personalized Facebook avatar, here's a checklist of things you can do to make sure the problem isn't on your end. 1. Sounds obvious, but double check to make sure the Facebook app is updated to the latest version. Number 2, click on the big blue Facebook icon at the bottom of your phone screen. Then scroll down and select See More. Next, click on Avatars, then click on Next, and then Get Started. One Reddit user also recommended turning on location for Facebook. Another Reddit user said they were able to get their own avatar after seeing their friends. If one of your Facebook friends shares theirs, there should be a button on the lower right-hand corner saying Try It. And if you still aren't able to create a Facebook avatar, be patient. Last week, The head of the Facebook app said the characters are still being rolled out.
Hey, what's up guys? Time to check out some stories that are trending tonight on KSAT.com. And let's start with the little general, Avery Johnson. That's right, Avery Johnson, the legendary Spurs player, has his number 6 up in the AT&T Center rafters. He kind of had an interesting tweet the other night. He basically said that if the Spurs had played the Bulls in 1999, that the Spurs would have beaten them, no doubt. So the reason this came up is because, of course, the documentary called The Last Dance, which detailed Michael Jordan's last year with the Bulls. Well, in the documentary, Jordan said, you know what, I would have come back for another year and we would have defended our title. And that, of course, was the year that the Spurs won their first title, and Avery was like, nah, not even close, man. Spurs would have won. It would have been an interesting series to check out for sure had the Spurs played the Bulls in 1999. Of course, that did not happen. Spurs went on to win the championship. Jordan retired, but it's led to some interesting debates on our social media platforms and on our website. So if you have any thoughts about this, head over to KSAT.com to check out that story. All right, moving on here, a bit of a bummer here. Today we learned that the Selena 25th anniversary concert at the Alamo Dome was officially canceled due to the coronavirus pandemic. So the concert was supposed to take place May 9th. That obviously did not happen, and there were a couple of the people that were supposed to play Pitbull, Los Tucanes de Tijuana. So there was some excitement about this concert at the Dome. That is officially gone. That's officially canceled. Suzette Quintanilla, of course, Selena's sister, said that they reviewed several options, but just figured out that it just would not be able to work out this year. So again, it's unfortunate. If you want more information on this story, head over to our website, KSAT.com. And just a reminder, we did a special on Selena that marked 25 years since she passed away. It's called Siempre Selena. It's on KSAT OTT, and it's also on our website, so you can check that out if you want as well. But again, some unfortunate news there for that. But you know what? We're sticking with the music theme, kind of something to sort of get our feelings back up here. KSAT anchor Steve Spriester, this guy has gone into some new heights for me personally. He's officially been dubbed the Mr. Put Money in a Bag Man after he was featured in a new track by the rap superstar Future. So this is real life here. This is pretty cool stuff. This track, it's called Riding Strikers. About 2 minutes into the song, Steve pops up, Steve Spriester, his voice pops up because of a newscast that he did all the way back in 2014. So props to Future, or whoever put together this song, for going back and checking out our KSAT newscast from 2014. We have the song embedded in our article right now, which we have about this pretty crazy story, and we have something funny. Steve said that he hopes to work with Snoop Dogg next, so pretty cool stuff there. Steve joking around, and Steve, the wordsmith as he is, I'm pretty sure was impressed to be in this Future song. Steve, all the way up in the levels now, Manu Ginobili, when he was mentioned in that Drake song a few years back as well. So some San Antonio legends putting it on for the 210. If you want to check out this article, head over to our website, KSAT.com. That is what is trending. You guys have a great night, and I will check in with you guys again soon.
Thank you so much for watching the news at 9. The Night Beat starts at 10. We'll see you then.